Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
It's because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
I think that's taking it to another level.
Yeah. Log on and join our live conversation.
Know that you can't control yourself? That is embarrassing. Okay.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Wednesday, March 6th. We're live and we're talking about what you're talking about. Right now I'm here with Stephanie and Bo. I'm Jeff. Erica and Brandon have the night off. Let's get to it, guys. A lot to cover. We begin with some very sad news. Longtime Jeopardy host Alex Trebek has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He just made the announcement in a video message. Let's watch.
I have some news to share with all of you, and it's in keeping with my longtime policy of being open and transparent with our Jeopardy fan base. I also wanted to prevent you from reading or hearing some overblown or inaccurate reports regarding my health. So therefore, I wanted to be the one to pass along this information. Now, just like 50,000 other people in the United States each year, this week, I was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Now, normally, the prognosis for this is not very encouraging, but I'm going to fight this, and I'm going to keep working, and with the love and support of my family and friends, and with the help of your prayers also, I plan to beat the low survival rate statistics for this disease. Truth told, I have to, because under the terms of my contract, I have to host Jeopardy for 3 more years. So help me. Keep the faith, and we'll...
That's finishing up right there, but I mean, his spirit's definitely there. I mean, thoughts and prayers definitely first and foremost, but I love that he's coming out with this, not letting anyone speculate anything, and then still got that great spirit.
You gotta love his attitude. What a positive outlook. You know, I think that, you know, Jeff, that Trebek has always been kind of that voice of an era, like Walter Cronkite, for instance. He's always been that voice that we all knew, we could trust. It was authoritative. I don't know about you, but I used to play along to Jeopardy when I was a kid, like just hoping I'd get the answers right. You know what I mean? So I just love his, you know, I'm not going to dismiss him before he gets out of this because I think he's going to fight it, and I appreciate his spirit.
Absolutely. And when you say the answer's right, I used to hope to get one answer right.
They're hard, actually.
It was hard. You know Alex Trebek, right? Growing up in London, obviously they didn't have the show there.
We don't have the show, but I recognize him, and wow, I've never seen him on air in that way before, and I think what a powerful message, what a positive one, to say he's just had this really life-changing news, which is going to affect himself and so many others. I think it's amazing that he's been so open, honest, and the fact that he's including his audience just shows like what a great guy he is, how brave.
And just for reference, he's been on the air a lot longer than you've been alive.
There we go.
35 years.
He's doing awesome.
And wasn't your wife an answer one time?
She was an answer. She was an answer. It was Jordan, like, who won Big Brother? I think the question was who won Big Brother and bought their parents a house.
Aww,
and that was my wife, Jordan.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
So now me and Alex, we got a connection.
There you go.
Thoughts and prayers, my man.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to switch gears here right now. R. Kelly is back in police custody right now. Here he is being escorted out of court earlier today by deputies. He was there because of unpaid child support. And CBS Chicago reports he was ordered back into custody after owing $160,000. This is on top of the other recent charges of sexual abuse that recently landed him in jail. And everyone is talking about R. Kelly's explosive sit-down interview with CBS's Gayle King this morning. Let's take a look.
Robert, stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing. Robert. I didn't do this stuff. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You're killing me, man.
And Gayle King also spoke with 2 women who are currently living girlfriends with R. Kelly. They support him and have been estranged from their families. Here's a sneak peek of that interview that's going to air tomorrow.
I'm crying because you guys don't know the truth. You guys believe in some facade that our parents are saying. This is all lies for money. And if you can't see that, you're ignorant and you're stupid.
I mean, a lot to unwrap here, but I just want to say Gayle King, what a champion.
Oh,
what
yeah.
a champion, the way she handled that. But it seemed to me, I think maybe everyone, but she was like the parental figure, and he was like
a tantrum child.
A child having a tantrum.
He was hysterical. And I think in those moments when you're trying to, I mean, basically give his side of the story, prove his innocence or whatever it is he wanted to put across in that interview, he really came across badly. He didn't look respectful to her. He was kind of, he was screaming, he was shouting, he seemed out of control of himself. I just thought it was the wrong impression to give for
and
so many reasons.
It wasn't like he was on trial. This was his chance to explain his side of the story.
He dug himself a hole,
He
I
really
think.
did.
I mean, okay, so the dude can afford 2 girlfriends, but he can't afford child support. Like, I just have a fundamental problem with that. And Geronda Pace, who's one of the alleged victims of his, said when she watched this interview, she said, I watched it as unbiased as I could, but the man needs help. He's been surrounded by yes men and yes women all of his life. So he's bought into his own hype and he's bought into his own lie. I don't have much sympathy for a guy that digs his own grave like this on national television.
Right.
Do you?
No, I don't. And I mean, like I said, I think he handled himself badly. That's just me personally. And do what you want, on your own time. I don't think it's a great look bringing your 2 living girlfriends to back you up either. That's just me.
The whole thing was a terrible idea. I mean, I don't know who his publicist is, but he needs to get rid of them because whatever advice he's been given, and if that was off his own back and accord, even worse.
Absolutely.
Poor Gail, but like you said, she was a pro.
She was the adult in the room, wasn't she?
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys, we got some more sad news here. We're hearing from Luke Perry's son, Jack, after his father died Monday from a massive stroke at age 52. The 21-year-old shared a photo of Luke cheering him on at one of his wrestling matches. He says in part, he was a lot of things to a lot of people. To me, he was always dad. He loved me and supported me in everything and inspired me to be the best that I could possibly be. I've learned so much from you and my heart is broken thinking about everything that you won't be here for. Jack wrestles professionally but dropped out of an upcoming show that's set to take place next week, and some footage of Luke talking about possibly joining the upcoming Beverly Hills 90210 reboot is also trending right now. Let's take a look at that.
I don't know. I want to because I love those actors, and it'd be really great to get on the set with all of them again.
Wow. I mean, that was tough for me to get through about the letter from his son because, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine.
So tragic.
Yeah, and Jeff, the stats are not good. 1 in every 4 minutes someone dies of stroke. So, we know Luke Perry because we love him. He came into our homes from 90210. But the truth of the matter is there are a lot of people out there who are now going to be orphans as a result of their father or their mother dying of a stroke. So, an otherwise healthy-looking guy, like what me and you look like right now, we don't know what's going on underneath.
You're right.
We just don't know. And so I feel for those kids, but my God, what strength that they have.
Absolutely. Tell somebody you love them today. How about that? DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. And coming up, Emilio Estevez is back with an inspiring new movie. DBL co-host Sam Shocker sat down with him for a one-on-one interview to talk about The Public, and he shares his thoughts about being a part of the iconic Brat Pack. And it's Wednesday. Stephanie Jones has the latest celebrity gossip, including what advice Kate Beckinsale's ex is giving to her new boo, Pete Davidson. That's coming up next. Maybe not something so down.
I know.
I mean, Alex Trebek,
I know.
and then Luke Perry.
I know.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's true. You said it right. You never know. You got to enjoy every day. You never know what's going to happen to you or a family member, Yeah. But yeah, just reading that of Luke Perry's son, and I said earlier, maybe in yesterday's show as well, his daughter lives in Africa, and when she found out about the stroke, she flew in, so she got to be there by her dad's side when he passed. So, that is something. I mean, it's sad.
What are your thoughts on the R. Kelly thing? Because I just, in seeing 2 women that are living girlfriends, right? So he obviously can afford to keep them up, but he can't afford child support or whatever. That's what he's being thrown back in jail for. I mean, I don't think going on national television and beating on your chest like a moron is making your case to the American people.
No, and I mean, there's a photo out there that's going viral of Gayle King just sitting there calmly and him going crazy.
Robert.
Yeah, so, I mean, that picture's worth 1,000 words, right? You know, so that kind of sums up the whole thing. I can't believe he can't pay the $160,000. You know what I mean? It's been R. Kelly.
You know what I noticed too, Jeff?
For decades.
So he said when she pressed him about the old case, and like he said, you can't put me in double jeopardy like that. He said to her, I beat that case. I beat that case, which is a very different thing from saying I'm innocent. Because here's the thing, you can hire the best attorneys in the world, O.J. Simpson is proof of this, and get acquitted. But what you should be saying is, I didn't do it. I'm innocent. I never did it all along, but instead you're saying, I beat it. Almost with arrogance, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's kind of trapped in his bubble of people around him.
All the time.
Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. It's What Up Wednesday, and I've got all the juicy gossip that everyone is talking about. So let's head on over to our What Up World map. And first up, we're going to Calabasas, California, where we're talking about a feud as old as time. We cannot get enough of Taylor Swift's Elle article, and she is calling out Kimmy K for being a bully. And of course, we all remember this tweet from Kim. She called Taylor a snake, igniting what Taylor says was a hate campaign against her and put her at rock bottom. Well, Taylor Swift is now saying that she learned a valuable lesson, and that's how to stand up to bullies and reclaiming the snake for herself. It looks like Taylor has had the last laugh for now. So here's what's up. Everyone loves a good old-fashioned celebrity feud. I mean, we're all eating popcorn while Kim is getting publicity, Taylor is getting exposure, and I'm just refreshing my page on Twitter, checking Kim's next response. Our next stop is Mexico, where Bachelor in Paradise will be happening. Duh. But enough about Colton. I have the tea on who could be on Bachelor in Paradise. First up is Demi. Now, this is an obvious choice, and even Bachelor host Chris Harrison said that she is his spirit animal, and he needs her there. Demi even says she doesn't have her eye on any former bachelors, and that there is no one she wants to see in Paradise. But ultimately, she's hinting that she's going to be there. Next up, we have Onyeka. Now, she's been making noise this whole season, so who better to create some drama in Paradise? She was accused of being the bully of the season, and with Demi's fiery personality, these two are definitely going to be making a splash. And lastly, Caelynn. Now, we have to feel for her after breaking up with Colton just after she introduced him to her family. Ouch! Bachelor Nation wants the former Miss North Carolina to find true love. So we know this isn't the last that we'll be seeing of her. So, here's what's up. We all know everyone only watches The Bachelor for The Bachelor in Paradise. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to see some hotties in bikinis? Just saying. And our last stop is LA, where Kate Beckinsale and her ex first met. Now check out what Matt Rife has to say about Pete Davidson, or to him rather.
Run.
Really?
Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can. Just be careful.
Ouch, yep, consider yourself warned. This caution comes after Pete and Kate showed public displays of affection that left little to the imagination at a hockey game. Check out that tongue action. But we wonder if Matt's advice will change Pete's mind about his budding relationship. Here's what's up. Talk about a hype. And a hype for that matter. Kate and her ex met when he was just 21. So it seems like the 45-year-old is a little bit of a cradle robber. Pete, by the way, is just 25. Next, her and her ex met at a comedy club. And you guessed it, Matt is also a comedian. And lastly, did you see all of that ink? It looks like tattoos are on Kate's wish list for a boyfriend too. Yeah, I don't know, Pete, but you might want to take his advice and run as fast as you can. That's been another edition of this week's What Up Wednesday. Coming up on DBL, our very own Sam Shocker sits down with Emilio Estevez in today's Chatting with the Stars. Find out the nod he gives to The Breakfast Club in his new movie, and what he says what it was like growing up with a very famous dad.
to Double Jump, where we talk the latest in gaming, tech, and pop culture news. Today we're here to review Captain Marvel, which stars Brie Larson in the titular character of Carol Danvers, and she becomes Captain Marvel to help defend the Earth from the oncoming space galactic war between two alien races, the Kree and the Skrull. Chris, I'm going to you first, man. Give me the good, the bad, the great, the ugly, and it doesn't sound that good so far.
No, this is a big old bag of so-so. Everything is just okay with this movie. There's so many missed opportunities. She was on a team of like super warriors that they could have had so many funny interactions with that, like Guardians of the Galaxy style. And you know, the only really good interaction that her character had was with Samuel L. Jackson. That was really good.
Yeah,
the back and forth was great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't appreciate how they treated the Skrulls in this one. They're pretty much just peasant refugees when they're supposed to be a giant galactic empire. So the movie was just so-so. She wasn't that great. I would say, well, now we'll do the final.
She was almost there, I think, and I want to go back to your energy with the team, because I feel like Samuel L. Jackson and her were the only two that worked really good together in this movie. Her and Jude Law didn't play off of each other as well as I really wanted them to. I mean, come on, you're like a mentor, mentee situation. Like, you guys need to have some good energy, and she was trying to crack jokes that just weren't timed well. They just weren't really that funny, and Jude Law's character wasn't even like a snicker. Like, come on, man, something to let us know that you're at least amused by this character, because they have a big past together, but it just doesn't show at all in this movie. So Chris, what are you recommending for this one? Wait for Redbox, go to the theater, or don't see it at all?
I'm gonna recommend go to Redbox for this one. If you're looking.
Welcome back to DBL. Emilio Estevez shot to fame in the 80s as a member of the Brat Pack, starring in unforgettable films like The Breakfast Club. Now, more than 30 years later, he's back in a library for his latest movie, but this time he's not serving detention. Earlier, DBL co-host Sam Shocker sat down with Emilio for a special one-on-one interview. First, let's check out a clip from his new movie, The Public.
Mr. Goodson, I gotta talk to you. There's not enough shelter for us people on the street.
Who is us?
We could all come stay at your place.
Emilio Estevez, we are so thrilled to have you here. Your career, what a long, incredible career you've had. Iconic movies, too many to name, but I have to say my favorites are Breakfast Club and The Young Guns.
Thank you.
I have to ask, what do you make of being a part of the Brat Pack then? And what are your thoughts of being a part of that iconic group of the 80s today? Has it changed at all?
The fact that that movie has transcended generations, that it's still relevant.
Every single line.
There's a Easter egg in this movie. There's probably the first 10 minutes
because
of the film.
library?
In the library.
Yes.
We're back in the library.
Part?
So there's a scene where there's a librarian reading a book to a group of children, and the book that she's reading is Ali Sheedy published a book when she was 11 years old called She Was Nice to Mice.
I had no idea.
And she's reading that book.
Brilliant.
So a little nod to Ali, a little nod to the Breakfast Club.
What did Ali say when you told her about this? Does she know?
She said, oh no, she said, I want a part in this. I don't want you to just put my damn book in there. I want a part.
Yeah, you're the director. Come on, pull some strings.
Right.
I have heard you say a number of times that you got into this business as an actor not for the fame, which is the juxtaposition of just that statement alone compared to what we see with social media today and all the fame.
That's right.
I love that about you. So what happened when you told your dad, Martin Sheen, an actor, when you told him, hey, I want to be an actor too? Did he give you any advice about how to be private in such a public world?
Well, the first thing he said was, don't change your name. And for a moment, I thought, well, if I go with the Estevez name, I don't really look Latin, and all the same things that my dad got pushed back on in 1958 when he decided to change his name. So in 65 or 66, his father came from Dayton, Ohio, to see him on Broadway. And he'd never been to New York before, and he looked up on the marquee and he saw the name Martin Sheen, and he just shook his head. And my dad saw that, and he was humiliated. And so in 1979, 1980, when I started, he said, don't make the same mistake I did.
I think it was a great advice from your dad, and you definitely paved your own path. We got to talk about your brilliant cast, from Taylor Schilling to Christian Slater to Gabrielle Union, Alec Baldwin, Jenna Malone. The list goes on and on. Speaking of Alec Baldwin, we on this show we cover the Daily News, and so we've talked about his back and forth with the president. We've talked about his impersonations of the president on SNL. Because you know him personally, I want to know from you what you think about that clash back and and forth with the president? And also, do you find it necessary to have political satire in this politically divisive climate that we have today?
I think the comedians are leading the charge. And I think that when you approach something with humor, you humanize it. And I think that those who are critical of Alec, well, they lack that real center and that sense of humor.
Come on down.
This is Detective Bill Ramsden. Sooner or later, you're going to have to open that door.
They're not coming out of there unless we make them.
I am not prepared to be in a standoff with a cop.
You're the one who's always like, Vive la Resistance.
This is bigger than riding the metro and getting organic food.
So what do you hope that the audience leaves with when they leave after watching your movie?
Well, recently there was an article printed online. It was a writer for Forbes, and he said, "Why do we need libraries? When we have Google, when we have Amazon, we don't need libraries anymore." And the pile-on was so intense by librarians and other individuals who just said, you know, here's why libraries matter. Here's why they're important. They're free for all. They are true democracy in action. So they were forced to take that article down after about 2 days.
I go to the public library with my daughter for these free services they have, whether it would be story time or puppet shows. And I go in there and they're so crowded because so many people, that's their only resource.
That's right.
So there's so many elements on why we need public libraries. It was such an honor to speak with you. I want our viewers to know, because this is a very important movie for all of you to see. So right now it's being screened at different film festivals, but it will hit theaters April 5th. Make sure you go. Thank you, Emilio. It was so nice to meet you. Big fan of yours. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Great job, Sam. That was an interesting, very interesting interview. First of all, he seems like a terrific guy.
Yeah.
Terrific guy. The part, aside from the movie, that it looks great, I love the story about how he kept the name Estevez, because I thought he changed his name to Emilio Estevez as opposed to them changing their names.
That was enlightening to me.
Yeah.
But that's great, though, that because the grandfather saw Martin's name on the marquee and grimaced, basically, so Emilio took the name back.
Yeah, I think Martin, someone told me earlier, there's no way I'm going to remember this, but it's like Ramon, Alexandro, like very Estevez. It's like a very long name, so I'm guessing back in that time, his agent's like, listen, you're Marty from now on. You're Marty Sheen, you know?
It's true. That's what they said to me when I came to America. They were like, don't use your full name because it's just too long or too hard for people to say and pronounce. So that's why I'm now Steph Jones. That makes me feel bad to my family now. Like, shoot.
People are using like all their full name now. Like, you got to go all three names, right? I feel like I see that more. Bryce Dallas Howard. There's a number of them that they really use the whole thing. You know?
I need a new name. No, I'm
no,
keep my
you
name.
got a great name.
All right, guys. Right now, celebrities are reacting to the cancer diagnosis of Alex Trebek. Raquel Villanueva has the details at the moment.
Jeff, stars and former Jeopardy contestants are showing their support for Alex Trebek after he revealed he has cancer. Fellow game show host Pat Sajak from Wheel of Fortune tweeted, "There is no one I know who is stronger and more determined, and I would never bet against him." And Ken Jennings, who holds the record for winning 74 games in a row on the show, says Alex is very much aware of how much he means to millions of people and how we will be pulling for him. I hope that's a comfort. And Katie Couric, who lost her sister to pancreatic cancer, phrased it in the form of a question. A courageous man who is determined to beat this terrible disease with the help of family, friends, and prayers from around the world. Who is Alex Trebek? Everyone here at DBL is rooting for you.
Absolutely, Raquel. I think you said it all. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration.
Johnny Bananas, I'm a huge fan. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. I'm really happy to have you on. I am shaking a little. I'm fangirling out. I want to know and let everybody know, how'd you get your name Bananas?
I was a big Eddie Murphy fan growing up.
Nice.
Movie Beverly Hills Cop, if you've ever seen it.
Yes.
He essentially stalls a car by sticking bananas in a cop's tailpipe. I tried to replicate the same thing, putting bananas in my mom's tailpipe because I didn't want to go to elementary school.
Wow.
Did not work. Years later, I moved to New York, got a job at Banana Republic, and the name stuck after that.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, this is your 18th season. I've watched every single one. You're a 6-time champion.
Thank
so
you.
how many more seasons,
Yes.
old man, do you think you can actually accomplish?
How many more rings is Tom Brady going to win? Who knows? The worst news you guys are going to hear in a long time is I am feeling better than ever, and I've still got a few more notches to put in my belt. My legacy is far from being written.
I like
that.
So,
be patient. There's still a lot more to see.
Now, I have to ask you, you told E! News that you are game for it, and social media is convinced, and all my fans out here are like, you got to ask, am I speaking to the next Bachelor?
I mean, listen, unless you want to run off to Vegas and elope
I'm
anytime
married,
soon,
but it's
then yes, you
my husband would almost allow it because he loves you so much. I'm not lying.
Listen, you know what? In Vegas, anything's legal. We can, you know, we could all have one big happy family.
Amen. I love that.
E! News, they definitely put it out there.
Yeah.
I love the idea. I love Colton to death. I mean, the guy reached out to me on social media the other day. Little vanilla. The Bachelor needs to go from vanilla to bananas. We don't need a bachelor. We need a banachler.
All right, so this is where it gets a little tricky for you, Bananas. I'm going to go there. There you go. On the Challenge Rivals 3, you and your friend Sarah and partner both finished in first place. Then, with a twist in the competition, you famously stole the money from her, and she went home empty-handed. Now, I know you've been asked this question a bazillion times, but I need to know this as Tori. Is there any shred of you, like just like a pinky toe percentage of a nail bite that feels bad for what you did?
I don't even feel a shred, even a mosquito's pinky toe. Wow. Okay, because what I did was in response to what she did to me. It's a game. We're here to win the game. We're here to make money.
All right, Bananas, thank you again for chatting with us. Such a fangirl. You guys can catch the challenge War of the Worlds Wednesday nights on MTV and then chat about it me with the next day. Such an honor, such an honor, such an honor.
Thank you, Tori.
Thank you.
Welcome back to DBL. We have some Alex Trebek comments of our own from the DBL Nation.
Yes, we do, Jeff. Beth from Facebook, praying for him. I know he will beat it. And Kyle from YouTube totally received the biggest shock to hear Alex Trebek has been diagnosed with cancer. He will beat this and come out strong as ever. Been a big fan of Jeopardy for years. I think we're all rooting for him.
Everybody. Now, Katie Couric has the best one so far. Form of question.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Our thoughts and prayers again are with Alex Trebek. I think you're going to make it, buddy. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll see you guys then.